Good morning, my loves, and happy 2025. Now, as you can tell by the title, we're going to get cozy, we're going to get chatty. So grab yourselves a warm drink, grab yourselves a notepad and a pen, and let's get really, really specific on how we can set ourselves up for a really, really successful 2025. So these are 5 steps that I'm going to be implementing, and I have done over the past couple of years or so to ensure that I set myself up to achieve everything that I set myself out to achieve. So step number 1, we are looking at reflecting. So reflecting, I think, is really, really important. It kind of like shows us where we kind of excelled, also shows us where areas that hindered us from achieving what we set ourselves up to do at the beginning of last year. So if you had the intention of, you wanted to buy yourself a car last year and for whatever reason that didn't work itself out, sometimes it's really, really important that we dive a little bit deeper and see why that didn't work out. Maybe we were going through a period in our life that we felt like the money that we should have been saving for that car was actually more beneficial on our mental health by spending it connecting with other people. So it's really, really important we look back and we reflect on the whole year in general. I think a lot of the time when we look at kind of like the failure pieces of the things that we didn't achieve, it's really, really easy to get stuck on those, but there's usually reasons why we didn't do that. And moving into the new year, we want to make sure that we set ourselves up for success. We want to make sure that we don't fall back into whatever that was. For me, it's actually taken me, I'd say, about a week now that we've got into the new year to really want to sit down and actually reflect. And if you're finding that you're in a similar position, there's usually something that's stopping you from wanting to look back and reflect on the year. For myself, I know that the year didn't exactly go to plan. There were so many things that I'd set myself out to do and I wanted to achieve: my career, in my home life, even, the way that I wanted to give birth, and those things didn't work out. So for me, it shows up as a massive failure piece, me thinking that I failed when actually I didn't fail at all. These were things that were out of my control. And when we move into the next step, we're being a little bit more specific and also realistic in what we're able to achieve. So let's move on to step number 2. So step number 2 is project. Now, projecting is really, really getting intentional, really, really getting specific on the things that we want to be achieving in 2025. So we can split those into categories. What do you want to achieve in your career? What do you want to achieve within your relationships? What do you personally want to achieve for yourself as well? When we split them up, it makes it just seem a little bit more achievable. When I'm projecting, I really, really like to split my year into 3 months. I find it really difficult to project for the whole year. And I know some people are incredible at doing that, but for me, I do find that quite tricky. I like to put it in more bite-sized pieces just so it really encourages me to then check in with myself throughout the year and to be like, okay, like, how are we doing? Are we keeping on track? Are we not? What are the things that are popping up that are stopping us and limiting us from actually going after what we want to do? Or are we so on track that maybe we can make that dream just a little bit bigger than what we originally thought? So split them up into 3 months, and then I'll check back in at the end of March, and then I'll look and see kind of like where then I can project for the next 3 months. The great thing about doing that is if I find then that something isn't quite working out for me, it then reflects back to me where my priorities are lying. And if, for example, I set myself a health and fitness goal and I've just not been able to achieve it, it really reflects my priorities have obviously been elsewhere, and sometimes that's okay, but then sometimes it also shows up that excuses piece, and we're able to ensure that we're kind of like tackling that too. So there's a lot of mindset stuff that goes into it, but I think it's really, really fun because you just discover yourself even more. It's like a self-discovery journey, this whole thing, really. We're really, really navigating and finding ourselves, understanding ourselves a lot more. So there's a lot more kind of like self-awareness of kind of like, why are we not achieving the thing, why are we not doing the thing, or why are we excelling in the thing, which is really, really fun. Number 3 then, we have attract, and this is one of my favorite things to do, honestly. When I'm talking about attracting, you can do this in so many different ways. For me, I absolutely love a vision board. I think vision boards are a beautiful way to really set out exactly what you want to do. You could print some photos off, either from Pinterest or pictures that you've taken yourself and pop them onto like a cork board or something. I think that's a really, really nice way. You have it in your bedroom, you have it somewhere that you spend a lot of time that's communal within your house, that you're going to look at it. And for me, I love to make vision boards on Canva. I love to then have it as like my wallpaper on my phone, so that I'll be looking at it every single day before I start scrolling. When I pick it up, it's the first thing that I look at. You want to make sure that you are popping photos on there that are relevant to what you want to be achieving. You can choose your aesthetic, you can choose your filters, you can choose your tones, like make it really, really personable to you. Make it something that inspires you and motivates you when you look at it, because that's what's going to keep you driven and that's what's going to help you to really attract what you want to. Again, I like to do this kind of like 3 to 6 monthly, so sometimes I'll make up myself a vision board and I might chop and change out photos after that 3 months as well. Like I said, it's always about kind of like just checking in with myself, seeing how I'm doing, seeing how I'm getting on, and seeing what I can do in order to change or move forwards. Another thing you can do is also to manifest journal as well, and this is something that I implemented a couple of years ago. Absolutely loved it. So when I'm talking about manifesting journaling, I'm really talking about talking about the things that you would like to achieve as if you have already achieved them. So you're going to be writing down into your journal, you know, that I'm really, really grateful for this abundance of wealth that I've received, or, you know, it could be to do with your health, or it could be to do with family, or it could be talking about the business that you are currently running and how well it's doing, how much money that you're making. You get yourself into the space of becoming your higher self, which is what you're chasing, what you're going after. So one of my favorite books, honestly, which really, really helped to kind of like rewire my brain and really helped me to articulate what I wanted in a much clearer way, was The Secret. You are someone who's looking to get into manifestation, or you're wanting to dive a little bit deeper into understanding yourself a little bit more, really check out that book. Really helped me along the way. Number 4 then is cleanse, and I think this is a really, really important step. So cleansing, I'm talking about decluttering space, I'm talking about decluttering relationships, I'm talking about decluttering anything in your life that does not serve you. If you are holding on to garments and pieces of clothing that you no longer wear, but maybe because they hold something from the past that actually doesn't actually really serve you, get rid of it. If there is so much junk in your space that you don't know if you're coming or going, then have a day where you kind of like declutter and you take things to charity, or you give things away to families or friends, or you take things, you book yourself a tip run. Like, there are so many things that you can do to ensure that you are cleansing and that you are staying on top of your game, because a cleanse space honestly does equal a cleanse mind. For me in particular, the first thing that I tend to do in the morning is clean my kitchen. Part of it is because obviously I want to have a clean kitchen and I may not have had the chance to do it the night before, but a lot of the time it really, really does come down to the fact that I want to clean, because as soon as I've cleaned that and I feel like that space is clean, I then feel like there's space in my mind to be able to really think about how I'm going to set myself up to the day, what I need to achieve in that day. And when I'm talking about cleansing too, obviously I've kind of just touched on quickly about relationships, but cleansing relationships and friendships is really, really pinnacle in this. And it's a really, really tough subject, and I feel like sometimes a little bit taboo, but there really, really does come a time where you have to really think about, are the people that are around you, are they serving you as well as they could be? Is your environment serving you? And I'm not talking about just getting up, packing your bags and move to Australia. I mean, if that's what you need to do, then obviously you do that. But it really, really is about making sure that you are spending quality time with the people that support you and encourage you to become the best version of yourself. This actually brings us on to the last step, which is align. When I'm talking about aligning, I am talking about aligning yourself to become the higher version of yourself, the person that you are wanting to become. It's so much easier to become that person than what you think it is, because that person is you. That person is you, it's no one else. Everything that you want, that you're dreaming of, everything that you want to achieve is you, and you are more than capable of doing that. It kind of carries on and continues on from cleansing. I can't remember who said the quote, but it basically said, you are a product of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And when I read that, mind blown, because it's so, so true. If you think about the 5 people that you spend the most time with, you think about what they're talking about, you think about what they're wearing, you think about where they're going to, you think about what they're spending their money on, you think about how they talk about themselves, how they talk about other individuals. That is going to be reflecting onto you, and that is what you are absorbing. If those people are not in alignment with what you are wanting to achieve within your life, and how you want to be, and how you want to speak, and how you want to move, then they've got to go. They've got to go. Because unfortunately, in kind of like relationships, in friendships, in so many areas, you can only meet people where they're at. And likewise, if you're moving at, 1,000 miles an hour and you're speeding ahead of all these people with all this growth, with all this self-development, with all this excitement, new beginnings, you're taking risks, you're doing all these things, and other people aren't quite there yet, they're not going to be able to understand where you're at. So therefore the conversations aren't going to look like hyping you up. They're not going to look like you're doing incredible, let's keep going. It's going to look like questioning. It's going to look like negative energy. They don't understand why you're going after that when there's a comfortability that they have within themselves, maybe a limiting belief within themselves. And I'm not saying that you need to be never speaking to these people again, but it really, really is about them kind of like finding a new network of friends, a new network of people that are going to really, really light that fire inside of you and make you really, really want to soul search and go after exactly what you want. Enjoying that Pilates class, go and join that mums group, go to a entrepreneurial speech that's happening close by, take yourself to a really, really fancy dinner or brunch, because when you get a taste of that, it excites you, it makes you want to really, really dive deeper and become that version of yourself. All those things have a positive effect on how you see yourself and how your mind works in order for you to be able to strive for exactly what you want. There is so much more that I could dive into in all of this, but those are my 5 steps for setting yourself up for a successful 2025. I've just noticed as well, I've got a nail missing. So sorry. I really, really hope that this 2025 serves you in the most beautiful way. I hope that you get those intentions. I hope that you get everything that you want. I hope that you go after everything that you want, because one life, baby, one life. We should be running towards anything that we want as if we're on fire, because life is fleeting, it's beautiful, and there is a whole world out there that's waiting for you and that wants you and your creativity and your individuality. If you have enjoyed this video, please give me a likes up, comment below what things you're going after this year. I absolutely love hearing people's dreams, and I think it would be a really, really fun way as well for you to look back at the end of this year and see that's exactly what you've done. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful rest of your day.